The sun has got his hat on, hip 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 hooray. The sun has got his hat on and he's coming out to play. What are you playing with?
Well, your card and lights.
My card and lights. Oh, that'll be right. So the question is, are you coming out to play?
Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. If it's your first time here, I'm the big fella Scruff, and sitting next to me is the wild wonder Wink, who is definitely going wild with a credit card at this moment in time. Because as you see, we've changed our surroundings slightly. We're actually up now into Echo Base, our office. Got my collectibles starting to fill up the walls. And, well, she's turned up as well, so that'll sharp change, because everything I put out, she throws out. Oh no, can't have that here, it creates a mess. I think that looks lovely. Do you like that? I like that.
I did that.
What do you mean you did that?
I put all the figures and everything on the bottom.
No, you put the ones in the box there. I did the top bit. Alright, you contributed. Bloody hell. Are you contributing to the payment of that credit card?
Fuck no!
That'll be no then. So, how's the credit card going to get paid? That is a good question. Well, there's a number of ways you can do it. You can borrow the money, steal the money. How about doing a shocker in the trading world and actually work for the money?
Please, God, help me to release this demon!
Because this industry is fraught with naughty people telling you it's easy. It's fraught with the wannabes who think that they're just going to buy a prop fund, for example, and then suddenly be rich. And then you've got sort of various other bits and pieces, sort of selling signals, what have you.
Oh, make it stop!
Where's the work? Simple question. Where is the work? It's nowhere. But there's a lot of play. Because I genuinely think that's the way most people look at these markets. They're play acting at it. Now, when it comes to trading, and I've said it from day one, it's a professional career. The technical side of it is very easy. You know, it's not difficult at all. Once you get the fundamentals. That's why I said paying for a course, you don't really need one. Because you can find out what support resistance is. You can find out what Bollinger Bands are, fractals, candlesticks, price action. You can find all of this readily available. And it's put into bite-sized chunks, go into baby pips. There's a course there that'll give you all the groundwork that you need. Then you've got strategy. Now, again, is strategy easy? Yes. But there is no such thing as X marks the spot, which is what most people seem to look for. They seem to think that this job is so simple, it's X marks the spot. And you see it, and there's some high profile people around saying that there's X marks the spot.
We do not follow maps to buried treasure, and X never, ever marks the spot.
Trust me, it don't exist. You know, I've done this nearly 19 years now. And am I a millionaire? No. Am I wealthy? Not really. Can I do what I want when I want? Yes, I can. You know, do I have enough to pay my bills? Yes, I do. Although the wild wonder here is doing her level best to make certain that's a friggin' challenge that should be an Olympic sport, so fail.
How does your missus put up with you? Must be my legendary prowess as a lover.
You know, Christ almighty.
I'm going to repeat them.
You go do your painting. Yeah. Oh, you're feeling a little bit in the doghouse now, are you?
Not really.
No, I didn't think so. Christ almighty. But what am I driving at? If you treat this as a job, you will be paid as a job. Now, some jobs are paid more than others, obviously by skill set. As you get better at this job, you get paid more. But it all starts very small. You start your career as an apprentice, you're not paid a lot of money. But when you get through it, you are. And this week I put a poll out just to see what would happen. Because I've had a bit of a rough week this week. Not with the charts or anything. It's just Joe Public are full of arseholes. And I seem to attract most of them for some obscure reason.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
You know, they do have something on me that I don't. You know, they do have one thing that I'll never have. And that is, they can go kiss my ass, because I can't do that. Right? I physically can't get my head under my legs and round, right? But they're able to do it, so that's a skill set that they've got that I haven't. What are you laughing at? All right. Well, I can say it. I did say it. I'll probably say it again. So, that's kind of the way I look at things, right? I've got no time for people that just want a free ride. And that's pretty well documented through life. But I've always been that way, because I've always worked my entire life. But I understand the principle of building something up. And this industry doesn't. I'm going to get on a royal rant at the moment in a minute. And it could be a real beaut. Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to show you Morningstar, which the trolleys have destroyed. All right. So well done, Popeye. It's another thing that I'm just not going to bother doing. It's like the morning calls. Every day I do a news watch where I read the economic news, tell you the strongest and weakest currency, pick out a product to trade, and then I trade it. I back up what I'm saying. This is all done publicly before I go to market. And I've done it for quite a while. And do you know what the strike rate of that is? It's 100%. I haven't missed yet. And the guys in the squad will testify to that. And if you watch them, you'll see it. You'll see the news. Then you'll see the trade. It's 100% strike rate. Because I put the work in before I go to market. I see what the trade is going to be. I analyse it. I work it out. And then I trade accordingly. And when I say accordingly, what I mean is, it is going to target that is relevant to the size of the ATR and to what the conditions at the time are trading. Now, when you've got a bigger account, you can ride noise out, which is probably why it's got a good strike rate at this moment in time. But do I expect it to have 100% at the end of the year? No, of course I don't. You know, but if it's above 80%, which it will be, or at least I hope it will be, because none of us know the future, I'll be very happy, and I'll also be very profitable. And now I'm going to show you that with Morningstar, and then the small share account and the prop fund that I've been trading. I've got decent prop. You know, I'm not a lover of the prop industry because they move the goalpost, but the 5%ers are pretty darn good. What's the matter? You got a heart attack of the wallet, have you?
I need to pay for it somehow.
Oh, I'm having the heart attack of the wallet then. Jesus Christ.
I'm going to do me pay. I'll be back.
All right, well, I'm sure you will. Schwarzenegger said that. Bloody no. Christ almighty. Is that how much that costs for a feckin' pillow?
A pillow? It's not a pillow. It's 2 lights and a laundry.
Is it? Well, you got 259 quid in here and it's got a pillow on it.
Jesus Christ, dude.
What?
Yeah,
Pom laundry? I'm not having that crap. Bloody. Sorry. She does my boxing at times. She really does. But I love it a bit. I genuinely do. Anyway, right. What was I saying? This is getting out of hand. Right. If you're going to start small. Right. For those of you who are still here, I script nothing. I never have. I never will. I don't believe in it. You know. Why? Because I think you should see things in the moment. It's why my trading is always in the moment. When I do one-to-ones with guys, you know, and I do sort of a couple a month. I show them more in the sort of hour and so they're with me than they've seen in years. But I also do it live in front of them so they can see it. And I never pick the chart. The guys pick the chart because I don't believe in that either. Don't believe in cherry picking. Right. So let's jump back to Morningstar. Where did it come from? Why was I doing it? And where's it up to? Well, it came from the guys in the squad, mainly Steph and Danny, wanting to see it. Because I did it last year where I was testing something. And it did okay, but it was very time consuming. And they wanted a simple breakout strategy that can be used once a day and build up an account. Well, that's what I've been doing. So let me flick over and I'll quickly show you it. So if I flick onto here, we set it up in Black Bull. So it's the hedge account, which is the same as what you would have in, say, a prop fund. And I'm going to show you a stat from a prop fund. I took a snapshot of it. And then I'm going to show you where those stats have been and then what they've generated since the 1st of April this year. All right. So this is it. Okay. It's currently standing. There's all of its inception. So we put 150 quid in. So we rounded that up to 150 quid. There we go. And it's done 25.96, giving us a balance of 176.20, which is there. All right. So we can see that. Now, I've been keeping a log of this with this spreadsheet. Now, I do use these journals all the time. And this one's excellent. And I've got various different types that I use, but this is the one that I like the best. And it's very simple in its layout. You start it with your summaries, what you're doing, what you're going to do for this month, etc. 150 went in. We currently 176, which is 17.5 growth. Tell me a bank that would give you that in the last 2 weeks, because we started this first of this month and we're now on the 14th. So in 2 weeks, this has done 17% and it's created 149, just shy of 150 pips. Amazing, right? I've also figured out while we're doing this that I can't trade indices because they're too expensive. I've got to wait till I get to pips. So that's like my marker for this month. But there's the equity curve. So we'll go back to October. It's telling me what my profits is, where it's at, what percentages are, how many positions I've taken, what my win rate is. My win rate's 88.4, which is on average about where I'm at normally. We've got low pip rate, and I'm going to explain that because this is a very micro account. I have nowhere to go with it if I'm wrong, you know. So I have to kill things off early, and if it's getting out of hand, I genuinely have to kill it off, right? So it affects this. I'm looking to increase my bids by 5% each time. I'll explain that. And the reason why is I'm going to compound. Now, I can't really do anything at the moment because my maximum bid is 18p, which is why you're seeing a lot of 10p's. However, this might look good, but it's not as good as you think. Because back here, where is it? There, this one. I did a fat finger where I put a pound in instead of 10p. Now, fortunately, I saw it. And I killed it while it was in profit. And it was a good profit, but I made a little note that it was lucky. And I killed it before it could have caused any damage. And then, of course, I've just worked my way through what's going on. Now, you are able to enter into markets, maybe take 2 trades, sort of one after the other. One, it's not quite right, kill it out, reposition, put it back in, and then continue. That's the game plan. So we've achieved this month's target. But actually we haven't. We're only about 50% into it because one of the trades allowed us to hit that. So this is where journaling is very important. It's highlighting that. And then eventually I want to work it into this compound plan where I can see exactly where this is going to take me. You know, and it's very, very simple. The amount of positions I start adding in, it'll add into here and it'll start working up. So at the moment we're on a 5p bid. looking at 10 pips to get maybe a pound each day. And it just builds up. Then when we decide that we can have a bigger bid, so maybe be able to open up 2 splits, but we have a position of 20p, we can start increasing targets as well. You know, it's a simple thing. There is plenty of videos on this, and it breaks it down. It tells you how to split things up, etc. And then I'm going to drop it into the wage maker once it gets up to 50p. Now, once it gets up to 50p, if I'm looking at 15 pips per day, you know, it'll start working out what will happen. So at 50p, 15 pips a day gives me 750. Doesn't sound a lot, but it's 1800 across a year off one trade. Very simple. So if I wanted to say make 5 grand in a year off that 50p, that means I've got to do 42 pips a day, which is 208 a week, 833 per month, which gives me that. And I need to roughly take 2.8 trades per day. So 3 trades a day will get me my 5 grand a year based on 48 weeks. Simple stuff. So where's all of this going? Well, this is telling you where the work comes in. I'm actually doing my homework before I do anything. Now, I've also been working this one. Now, this one is the small share account that you saw me build up. And this is going to start moving over into Vanguard, which is where Vanguard is. Now, this is the last quarter of what I've done with that, because we've just finished the quarter. You can see it's got a good equity curve. It's running up very well. It's paying very well. My sort of hit rate is in line, 89%, just the same. Return rate is pretty good. This can be better, but I'm not really worried because 2 out of 3 ain't bad. It's all part of the plan. You know, as long as I have more at the end of the month than I did at the start of the month, I don't care how I got there.
Isn't that logical?
But this is fine. So I had a couple of bad days, not a problem, but it's all recovered and it's paying me. So where did that go? Well, here's a snapshot of the prop that sits with it. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Now those figures, as you can see, build up over and over, and I take so much out per month, and it now goes into what's called Wise. It used to be in Deal, but I'll show you this. I'm not going to show you this again, but I'll show you it for now so you can see an example of it. And each month I get paid, so I draw out $750, $800 each month, and then a little bit of a bonus for myself. So there it is there. So that was what came out of last month. And then I drop it into this, which is my Vanguard, which I'm now breaking up between an ISA and a pension. So if we concentrate on the ISA, because that's where I put the profits from the prop and the share account, this has now made $3,636 since April the 1st. And I started it with peanuts. The share account was an account that started with £118 in December. I opened up a prop, showed you how to pass it, passed it, gets paid every month, and that was just a basic instant funding account, and it cost about 400 quid or whatever it was to buy in. I can't quite remember. But that rate of return, or rate of investment rather, has now come to this. So my ROI, return on investment, is huge. And now that money is working for me, which is here. And then if you look at the investments that I've made, I alter these maybe once a month, once a quarter, something like that. But I'll review it fully at the end of every year. They are all making money, you know. And then I keep some cash holding as well. And it's all balanced. And it's balanced between high risk and low risk. And that's what the life strategy is. That's bonds, flattens out, your sort of higher risk, which is your equity index for the US, and my world developed for the FTSE. They're kind of high yield. Middle of the road is S&P 500, and then low road 60. So I've got a diverse portfolio. So what's all this got to do with that? I'm going to ask you again. Do you play at this, or is it a job? Everything I do is thought through. You know, from the moment I wake up to the moment I switch the computer off. The day is planned fully. I don't go into this blind. I do my research in the morning. I analyse the product that I'm going to take. I then drill that down to the best trade. And then I look for a single trade that'll pay me. And when it's paid, I quit. Now, isn't that a job? Or shall I just go, oh, I'm here. Show me the money. Because obviously it's there to be taken. Oh, it's a fruit machine. Fantastic. Click, 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 click. Oh, I've got no money. Well, that's the difference between managing the casino and just turning up to play at the casino. So, if I say, know thyself, do you actually know who you are? Are you a worker or are you a gambler? Money's there to be made. You just got to put the thought in. If you think it's easy, it's not. You think there's some guru out there that will sort of show you the path?
They've done studies, you know. 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
There possibly is. But they can't make you any money. I can't make you any money. You have to do it. I've said it before. Your best teacher is staring you in the mirror. It's you. Only you know what your pain points are. Only you know what your pleasure points are. And if you do know that, you can then work out a framework to create a job. And then if you get good at that job, it'll pay you. And that's a quick snapshot showing you exactly what small amounts of money can do with big commitment. Now, I'm sick and tired of the whingers going, oh, it's too hard. Oh, I'm losing more money. And every time I analyse what they're doing, they're gambling. Every time. It's 100% gambling. Because gambling comes in two forms. You can either go into the market too much, over trading, or you can go into the market with too little knowledge, which is just a punt. But both ways it's gambling. And the other side of it is, if you're, and I'm going to kind of wrap this up with a piece of advice as to how you can better your trading. And I mean better it. If you do everything with a binary decision, everything, yes, no, 50-50, you'll find the job becomes a lot easier. Start with your time frames or your markets that you're going to trade within a time frame. So your time frame is very simple. Can I dedicate this hour to the market? Yes or no? Well, if it's no, why the hell are you having a look at it in the first place? You haven't got time to focus. Right? So that's the first thing. You just figure out when and how you can trade. You know I can trade 5 days a week. I know I can trade from 6 till 6. All that sort of thing. You might be around a job. You might only be able to trade between 7 and 8. You've made a binary choice. You can or you can't do it. You know, but if you're putting trades on and then trying to do this at work, well, that's wrong. You know, if you're doing that, you need to have a swing trade where it swings from the point you can trade to the next point you can trade, 24-hour period. Now, the next part of it is just look at your basket of products, you know, and ask the same questions. Is it ready? Yes or no? So you're flicking through 4 or 5 assets, you know. Is it ready? Yes or no? Yes, brilliant. I'm going to look at that. No, right, I'm not looking at that. Yes, right, I'm looking at that. And you might drill 6 or 7 assets down to 2. Now you look at them and you go, which is the better of the 2? Good, bad. Right. You're with one asset now. Right. You've done part of your homework. You've funneled everything into a single point. Now you look at it at the top of each hour or the top of every 15 minutes, whatever trade you're doing. And you ask the binary question. Is it ready? Yes or no? And if it's no, leave it alone. Wait. Look at the next time segment. Is it ready? Yes or no? Right. It's ready. Brilliant. Just because it's ready doesn't mean to say you can enter. Is my entry criteria ready? Yes or no? If it's not, wait 5 minutes. Is it ready now? No. Wait another 5 minutes. Is it ready now? Yes. Brilliant. Now you go to market. But what you've done is you've funneled everything down into binary points. I look at the charts top of every hour. And the reason I look at the top of every hour is because an hour is a good amount of data that it can show me what's happening on the chart. Now I'm looking at an hourly chart. Once that top hour comes, I say, is that ready? Yes or no? If I say yes, I've now got 4 15-minute segments where I'm going to ask the same question. Is the entry criteria there? It might take it another 3 candles to move to a level that I want to do business at. Once that says yes, I then look at a 5-minute chart just to fine tune an entry. I can count the candles back. I normally do 5 candles back. I'll explain that. The reason I count 5 candles back is because I can see what the last 25 minutes of price action is across 5 bars. 5 bars is enough to create a fractal. Now a fractal is normally with 3, but if you look at it with 5, you can see where the plateau is and you can see where the spike. And if you don't know what a fractal is, imagine your fingers like so, and it's a shoulder, and a point, and the fractal is the one at the top. All right. It's just 3 candles with 1 in the middle. All right. What it's showing you is a poking point. That's all it is. You know, there's different versions of fractals, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the point. You know, and if there isn't a point, I'll see a plateau, and that plateau will give me an idea of where's an optimum entry. That's why I count 5 candles back, because I was asked. Now from there, I then need to keep it binary again. If I'm going to lose 50, I want to potentially win 50. So my maximum stop, I want an optimum target. Now we'll call it an optimum target because you should have a never-ending target. You want to hold the trades as long as you can. But if you're 50 this side, you want to be 50 on the other, which will give you sort of a maximum stop and an optimum target. 50-50. You've got as much to go both ways. Is it between 2 levels? Yeah, well that's 50-50 as well, because it's going to hit one of them. Simple as that. Now you can also have a minimum target which is built inside it, which is why I break trades up. Now your minimum target is based on one of your splits. Now the guys in the squad know exactly which one I use, and again that is based on 1-to-1. So from your split to your stop, and then from your split to your minimum target is 1-to-1. So everything you do is based on 50-50, and that keeps your strike rate up. And as long as you win more than you lose, you'll always make money. It's that simple. But that ain't gambling. That's planning. And planning, my friends, is a job. And if you don't want to put the work in, you are getting nothing out of it. Because ultimately, you get out of it what you put into it. Something for you to think about. So, we'll see what the comments are. No doubt it'll get battered to buggery as it always does. But hopefully somewhere it might inspire you to start thinking this is not simple. And I was going to get on a rant on something, but I decided not to, because it kind of winds me up at the minute. As everything does. I'm going to have a coffee a second. Just a minute. Well, we all know Scruffy likes a coffee and he's got to have one. I mean, bloody hell. No, I touched on prop. No, I don't like prop. I've never liked it, you know. And the only reason I like the 5%ers is, one, I know the guys personally, but their ethos is not the same as most prop firms. They actually want good traders. You know, they try to be the true proprietary firm, a little bit like Darwin X. I'll be exploring Darwin X a little bit more over the coming weeks, just simply because you guys have asked me to. Early days just yet, but I think I've got my head round the way they operate. They're a true broker. They're not a prop. They kind of sit in the middle when it comes to the investment side. But if there's any interest in it, I'll explore it. If there isn't, well, I won't. It's simple. But where I'm ranting at is, I genuinely want you to answer this in the comments, because I am really curious as to see who's stupid enough to fall for it.
Who is he?
He's an asshole, sir.
There's an industry now coming around the prop market. That is, we will pass your prop fund for you, and if we don't, you get your money back. Why the fuck would you pay somebody to pass something you can't do yourself and then fail anyway? So not only are you buying the prop fund, so you spend 500 quid on your fund to get in, you pay one of these bozos another 300 or 400 quid to pass it for you, and then you just blow it up within a week because you're playing at it. For the love of God, tell me where that became a viable proposition. Because I'm going to tell you something straight. If these clowns are that good, they would be passing the prop challenges themselves and holding on to them. Just something for you to think about. You know, trading is a long-term commitment. No shortcuts. I could pass your driving test for you and give you the driving license, but it doesn't mean to say you can take a car down a motorway.
How do you know when you hear the call? Make it stop! What do you do when you...
There's a pile-up waiting to happen. Just something for you to think about. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.